Welcome back to the homestead. As I'm sure you guys have all figured out by now, I am really anxious to get to gardening this year. And so in order to start that a little bit sooner than we would otherwise be able to, we've ordered a shelf and some grow lights and a bunch of seed starting trays, and we're going to start a bunch of our seeds here in the wood shop. One of the nice things about the wood shop, we generally do keep it about 60 degrees, so it is definitely warmer than it is outside. I think we had a low about -1 last night, and we're looking at a high in the high teens today. Not great seed starting weather. So today we're going to build this shelf, and we'll bring you along as we set up our new seed starting and grow light area. One of the reasons that we're doing this right here is so that as the days do get warmer, fingers crossed, we're going to be able to open up this door and let the starts begin to harden off a little bit to the weather, because they're going to have a pretty cushy life under the grow lights, and they're going to have a little bit of a shock when we move them out to the chilly garden come, second or third weekend in May. So we're going to give them a chance to harden off a little bit by opening up this door whenever it's fairly nice out.
Oh, in here you'll notice a bunch of these plastic pieces. These are garbage. These are just there to keep the shelves aligned with each other in packaging.
All right, so we have 4 shelves and 4 packages of these things. They tell you that way is up. And then we have 1 package of these things, which is different, and these are for the top. Oh, nope, I lied. Those are more of the same thing. So, extras, I guess.
And these only go one way. So you have 2 pieces that screw together. One end has a really small plastic plug and the other one has an adjustable foot. So this is obviously down. I'm screwing our feet all the way in for now, for starters. And we're screwing them together. And we'll put our feet down. We only have 6 grow lights, so we're going to do 2 per shelf for 3 shelves. The 4th shelf will just be for plants that don't need the light or whatever. And we also have the heat mats. So we're going to hold the shelf like that. And these pieces that Sue mentioned, they actually say up on them, but they're thinner on one end than they are the other. So they basically make a cone. And the theory here is that there's grooves on these pipes, and there's a little, piece on here. So that's going to go on the pipe like that, and the shelf is going to wedge down onto it, and that's what holds everything the way we want it. So Sue has to figure out how high off the ground she wants the first shelf, and we'll snap these pieces on the pipe.
I'm thinking not very.
Yeah, maybe?
Just like that.
Okay, so that just goes on the pipe like that.
Perfect.
We're going to slide this through the shelf. And that's really it. Do that 4 more times.
Hopefully all at the same height.
That is a good point. You can use whatever method works for you. In my case, I know that double right there, I just covered the next one from it, so I don't need to measure it. Okay, now Sue's going to grab the bottom 2 legs. I'm going to steady the top, and we're going to stand this up, and we'll just slide all the rest of the shelves down from the top down. set my shelf by stepping out a little. And then we're going to build our way from the bottom up. So now Sue has to decide where she wants the rest of the shelves. So basically, I'm going to grab a rubber mallet. Sue's going to grab the camera, and we're going to show you what we're doing here, up close and personal. So this one you'll see the plastic is just sticking out of the top, and this one it's not. So we're going to just set the shelf. Basically how that works is those plastic pieces we showed you are tapered like a cone. So as you drive that down on there, it really squishes those plastic pieces, and that little ridge on the back of the plastic bites into that. So it's pretty simple, but it's actually very rugged. I forget the weight rating of these shelves, but you can stand on them. So, and you'll notice they have a truss in the middle here because they are 4 feet long. So they're very solid. I think it's like 300 or 400 pounds of shelf is the rating. But that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna actually slide this right over near the door. Something like that out of the way. Still able to open the door if we want to bring something in. We'll get our grow lights hung up. We'll get our heat mats on here. We may actually cut some cardboard and put on here first, just to keep the shelves flat and give the heat mats something to set on. But yeah, so let's go get that stuff and keep on working.
We've gotten in a bunch of our seed starting material, so we'll go over exactly what it is that we bought and what it's used for, and hopefully that'll help you guys to know where we made a couple interesting choices that we might not have made if we had realized exactly what things were, and also what so far we're pretty excited about, but in general we think everything that we got will work very well for us. These are seed starting mats, and what these do is they go underneath your seed starting trays. They keep them warm. Most seeds germinate best between 75 and 85 degrees soil temperature, so this really just gives them a good head start. You could just start them in a warm room, but this is a bonus. We also bought the thermostat to go with it because we are sprouting in a warm room. This will help conserve some of the electricity because it'll tell the heating mats to turn off when it's warm enough. The next thing we have is our seed starting tray inserts. So this is where you actually put your soil and plant your seeds. If I had known a little bit more about what we were ordering, I would have ordered probably a reusable variety of these. These ones are not designed to be reused. They split apart into 6 packs, and so they're for like resale, and they're really only designed to be used once. They're quite flimsy, but that's okay. We'll use them for this year, and I'm sure they'll be great. And that is the brand of seed starting mat that we are using. We'll put links in the description to all of the products that we did purchase. And over here you have your base and the dome. So basically this together makes a little mini greenhouse and keeps all the moisture in with your plants. It makes it lower maintenance, and it also helps them to grow faster because it keeps them much more stable temperature, and it protects them from any potential drafts. Of course, over time we will want to harden them off to drafts, and so we'll make sure this is off. We may add a fan. We'll definitely be opening the garage door that they're in front of as the weather improves. But it's got that lid, and then it's got a nice sturdy plastic base. These are pretty rugged. They're definitely reusable for multiple years. So come on over to the shelving unit, and we'll show you how we got this all set up, and Ryan will talk a little bit about the grow lights that we chose.
All right, so we've got our shelving unit put together, as you saw. You saw all the parts that we've got. The one thing I didn't show you was the lights. And hold on one second, let me grab a light. So, Amazon purchasing, not reading real well. I found a pack of 6 grow lights for 50 bucks. Nice little lights, don't get me wrong. I think they're going to be great for a lot of uses. I was really thinking I wanted 4-foot lights because the shelf is 4 foot wide. They do have little connectors that allow you to connect them right together in the middle, but I'm afraid over time that's going to be a little weak and may move around. So we're going to order some 4-footers as well because we obviously don't have enough of these. Everything I see, people put 2 4-foot lights per shelf. The other thing you have to pay attention to is height above the plants. LEDs tend to be a little brighter, I guess, more intense than regular fluorescents. So you want some space there. I think it's like 6 to 8 inches. You want to research what the light manufacturer recommends. So you could obviously use chains and move it up and down. I came up with this idea with my mason's twine.
There's some snow on the roof. We're just having a little avalanche. Apologize for the noise.
So I came up with this idea with my mason's twine. I ran it through the shelf and over the prior shelf above, to 3 places in the light. So then what we have the ability to do is over here I put a bolt on the side of the shelf as a catch, and we'll probably come up with something that's more finite adjustable. But I just tied a loop in the string and I can pull that whole light up and hook it at the next level as the plants grow, or I can tie new knots. But that's one way of doing it. Over here we have the cord. They do wire together, so you can wire a bunch of these together. The cord is probably going to need something, just a little string tied back here, just so that it doesn't pull on the light. So we'll get some heat mats and some trays, and we'll set this shelf up like we believe it's going to be set up, as we start planting seeds here in a few weeks. So hold on, and Sue will be right back to show you what we've done to set that shelf up.
So as you can see, these lights are pretty bright on camera. I'm going to go ahead and shut them off for now so you guys can see what we're doing a little bit better. There's a whole switch just for that, as Ryan just pointed out to me. So what we have here is our domed seed starting tray with the insert in it, and then it's got the heat mat below it. You can see what that looks like on the shelf. We did put cardboard liners on the shelf because we felt that having the heat mat on the grate itself might be bad for it over time, or it might cause uneven heated spots with the tray not being quite as close to the mat. So we did put the cardboard shelf liners on it. Other than that, I don't think there's a lot to explain. We'll do another video when we've got some actual plants growing in here. But thanks for joining us on the homestead. Don't forget to like and subscribe.